connect a region of over 600 million bridges between our lands.
Hello and welcome to ASEAN in Focus. I'm Alma Angeles. Okay, let's go first to Silicon Valley Bureau, where Don Orozco joins us live from Silicon Valley. Hello, Don.
Good afternoon, Alma. And again, before I dwell into any of my report, there are three important things that I would like to touch into. Is first, Labor Day. And May 1, and it's Labor Day in the Philippines. And just a little trivia, it is not celebrated all over the world. Because in the US, Labor Day is September.
Okay.
So we do not celebrate Labor Day at this time. But we do celebrate one thing today worldwide, and that is the CFO Day, the Christian Family Day. So I wish everyone a happy CFO Day. And of course, a very happy birthday to our brother A, who is celebrating his birthday today, our CFO advisor. Now, going to my report, just to let you know, there is now 1 out of 6 Americans that is unemployed. And I am a part of it. There's approximately 30 million that has filed unemployment, and actually, out of the 30 million, 3.7 of those are Californians. So EDD, in effect, has already, that is the Unemployment Development Agency here, has tripled their workforce already so that they can actually serve on the so many number of people that is applying for benefits. And again, there will be more people to come because again, we only started last Tuesday the gig workers, which are those that are not receiving any base pay from their company. Another thing that I would like to report on is the condition of the health workers. Alma, you'll be surprised, that our frontliners, the health workers, currently there are about 5,105 tested positive from among the health workers now in California. And that is a rise of about 30% from last week. So it was just less than 4,000 last week, and now it is about 5,000. And then there are already 28 deaths from among the nurses, health workers. Luckily for me, my wife, is a health worker itself. She's a nurse here in California, and she is doing fine. Finally, just to give you an idea, because this will actually involve the Filipino community, the most 40% of those affected in COVID-19 here in Santa Clara County, Silicon Valley, are coming from those working from care home facilities. And the reason why I am reporting this is because, most of the care home workers are actually Filipinos. So I will actually get and finalize the real numbers because a lot of care home facilities right now, and it is very alarming, has been affected by COVID-19. Especially so that a lot of them take care of our seniors here in California.
So, yes, go ahead. The unemployed, millions of unemployed people.
There's about 30 million of them have filed for unemployment. And again, it is 1 for every 6 American. So this is really alarming. And now a lot of cities, a lot of states have went to the streets to protest the lockdown being implemented by the government. But then again, they should really understand that this is already really for their safety.
All right. Thank you very much, Don. Do you have anything more to report to us or any last message for our kababayans here while you're there?
Well, nothing much. It's just that trying to update you, and this is a special day for all of us.
It is.
Again, it's a CFO day. So again, this is Don Orozco wishing our brother A very happy birthday. Reporting live here in Silicon Valley. Please stay home, save lives, and stay safe as we live in interesting times.
Thank you, Don. The Philippine Arena Complex is now turned over to the Philippine government to use as a mega quarantine facility. Meanwhile, they expressed again their gratitude to the Iglesia Ni Cristo for offering the Philippine Arena for it to be made into a mega quarantine facility. We have a report coming in from Erlo Bringas. Hello, Erlo.
The Wihila Swan Center at the Iglesia Ni Cristo Philippine Arena Complex can now be used by the COVID-19 patients in the next few days. The facilities at the Iglesia Ni Cristo Philippine Arena Complex can now be used and ready to accept COVID-19 patients. Last Thursday morning, the member of the task force for COVID-19 is present to the turnover. One of the officials graced the event is Secretary Carlito Galvez, National Task Force for COVID-19 Chief Implementer, BCDA President Vince Dizon, Attorney Glicerio G.P. Santos IV, the COO of Maligaya Development Corporation, who facilitated, organized, and prepared the facilities at the Ciudad de Victoria, and other officials from the DPWH and other member of the task force. Secretary Galvez said that the facilities offered by the Iglesia Ni Cristo and Philippine Arena Complex is a big help to the Philippine government.
With the help of our private sector, napapasalamat po kami sa kapatiran. We will always treasure this in our lifetime. Pag na-turn over itong Hilas 1 building, ay tumanggap na po sila ng more or less almost 100 galing from Italy at saka po sa Spain. Pipilitin po namin na yung mga OFWs ay ma-handle properly para pagdating po sa inyo ay we can assure that they are COVID-free.
There were OFWs from Italy who arrived in the country on a chartered Philippine Airlines flight Wednesday night, April 29. They were repatriated through the joint efforts of the Philippine Embassy in Rome and the Philippine Consulate General in Milan. The OFWs from Italy and other Filipino repatriates from Spain will be staying in the Garden Suites in the Ciudad de Victoria grounds. The Philippine government said that OFWs had been screened so that only probable and suspect cases will be brought to the facility.
Lahat ng mga facilities natin ay kailangan pumasa sa guidelines and sa quality control ng Department of Health. So, based dun sa discussions ng DPWH at Department of Health, ngayon pasado na to sa sa guidelines ng DOH. Kaya ready to go na. Kailangan na lang pumasok yung mag-ooperate at yung mag-maintain. Ngayon tina-turn over na po ng INC sa atin for operation ito.
An estimated 2,000 people can be accommodated at the Philippine Arena Complex. The government will also construct mega swabbing centers. The Philippine Sports Stadium will be the North Sector swabbing area. They will set up mega tents inside the Philippine Sports Stadium in the next few days. Aside from these, they will also set up swab centers in the south, east, and western part of Metro Manila.
Gawin po natin yung ating mga laboratories ay minomodernize po natin. Kasama po ang Philippine National Red Cross ay tumutulong na po sa atin para maiparampa po natin na magkaroon po tayo ng testing capacity na 10,000 and then later on by May 15, 15,000, May 30, 30,000. At tinatiming po namin baka May 30. Itong 8 po nito na laboratories ay kayang-kaya po ang 12,000 na testing kada araw.
They again expressed their gratitude to the Iglesia ni Cristo Executive Minister Brother Eduardo V. Manalo for the help they extended to the government to fight this disease.
Sir, maraming salamat po sa inyo. At palain po tayo ng Diyos at talaga po ang ating mahal na Pangulo at ang ating gobyerno ay nagpapasalamat po sa inyong pusong pagtulong sa ating OFWs at saka sa ating mga future COVID patients. Maraming po salamat.
Laking bagay nitong ginawa nila for us sa efforts natin sa COVID-19. Umpisa pa lang to, no? Ito pa lang yung unang 3 na bubuksan natin. And marami pa tayong mga ibang gagawin dito, kamukha nung mega testing and swabbing facility na gagawin natin sa stadium. Pero nagpapasalamat talaga tayo sa kanila kasi kung di dahil sa kanila, wala tayong gantong facility dito sa north of Greater Metro Manila.
The Iglesia ni Cristo is always helping the community in this time of crisis, but they will also support the initiative of the Philippine government to fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. Reporting from Manila for Eagle News, Earl Bringas, and we live in interesting times.
ASEAN in Focus, we'll be right back.
Magtatagumpay tayo, salamat. Kung mag-fail tayo, salamat. Ang importante po, sinubukan natin, ginawa natin yung makakaya natin.
Napatunayan ko na yung talent na binigay sa akin ng Diyos, mas may expose pa. Kaya sa mga ibang artist dyan, lalo na sa mga may kapansanan din, mag-explore pa tayo ng ibang bagay tulad nito. Huwag tayong magtago, huwag tayong mahihiya. Gawin natin kung ano yung gusto talaga nating gawin.
This program is presented by SMC Infrastructure, building a better world. Vet-approved NutriChunks, the only premium dog food with active boost for optimum energy and probiotics that help strengthen immunity. Just like Catherine Bernardo, gawing listo ganado ang fur babies nyo. Listo ganado sa NutriChunks. Co-presented by Kubert, expert in air conditioning and electromechanical. Also engage in structural, electrical, fire protection, plumbing, and sanitary services. Kubert, your ultimate MEPS and air conditioning solutions. Vita Herbs Philippines Green Coffee. Masarap, mabango, at healthy pa. Canrib Corporation, your ventilation and air conditioning specialist. New San Jose Builders Incorporated. Unlad Incorporated International. Fight against global poverty. In participation with Rain or Shine Elastomeric Waterproofing Paint. Color for protection for your home. Matimco. Matimco is wood. Wood is Matimco. R Square Variables Incorporated. Your trusted UPS supplier and UPS maintenance provider in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. CompuZell Computer Services. ID card and lanyard manufacturer. Saisho International Trading Corporation. DN Steel. EMAC UPVC Roof Corporation.
Skyway Stages 1 and 2, the elevated toll road system project, run from a section of the South Luzon Expressway from Alabang to Magallanes, Makati. The Skyway Stage 3 is an elevated expressway connecting the South Luzon Expressway through the existing Skyway Stages 1 and 2 to the North Luzon Expressway via Balintawak. Skyway Stage 4 is an 80-kilometer mixed elevated and at-grade toll road that will connect the existing Skyway system starting from the FTI section all the way to Bulacan.
Listo at ganado ang baby ko sa vet-approved NutriChunks with active boost and prebiotics na pampalisto. Made with real meat, with essential nutrients to help them grow healthy and happy. Listo, ganado sa NutriChunks.
All right, welcome back. And we would like to welcome this afternoon the Honorable First Secretary and Consul General Val Simon Roque from the Philippine Embassy in Bangkok. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Alma.
There you go.
To all our viewers.
Ayan, maraming salamat po for your time, sir. Sir, can you update us on the condition and situation of our Filipinos there during this COVID-19 crisis po?
Well, the good news is that everybody is, our community here is engaged in a bayanihan spirit, because of the challenge brought about by the COVID-19 situation. Some do not have, some do not have the means to buy their food or, sustain themselves. So our Filipino community has mobilized to provide food assistance to our kababayans here. So that's the bright spot. Of course, the sad news is that many of our kababayans have either lost their jobs or are in a no work, no pay situation. So the most affected are really those working in the hotel industry here in Thailand. As you probably know, the tourism industry in Thailand is really big. They get roughly 40 million tourists a year last year, or the previous years, but now, because of the lockdown measures brought about by the COVID-19 situation, there are no tourists coming in, and therefore, our Filipino workers in the tourism industry here in Thailand are adversely affected.
Okay, so how are we helping our Filipino community there, those who were affected by this crisis po?
Okay. Well, the main program of the embassy is really what DFA is, the core service of DFA, which is the repatriation. So far, we have repatriated 185 kababayans. Our first repatriation flight was last April 24. We had 6 infants and 179 adults repatriated. And of course, the repatriation program is ongoing. We expect a second flight next week. This is going to be the second batch of repatriates, which will be around 180 kababayans. So that's the core service of our embassy. As far as the food assistance is concerned, as I mentioned, it's the community here is really leading, in providing such assistance. But in the first week of April, we sort of, seeded this food assistance drive by donating over 200 packs of rice to different Filipino community groups around Thailand. So that's how we are also assisting in the food challenge po, no? We really commend our community for owning the initiative to help our kababayans with the food drive, no? So until now, we actually have many of our kababayans, Filipino groups who are, donating rice and other food items to our needy kababayans. The Philippine Embassy is a food depot. This is where the repacking happens, no? So those in the Filipino community groups who are donating food packs to our needy kababayans, some of them do their packing operations here at the embassy. So that's how we're sort of helping our kababayans here.
Are they also getting any financial aid po?
Well, ma'am, Ms. Alma, That program is under the DOLE ACAP po, no? Unfortunately, we don't have a Philippine Overseas Labor Office of the Department of Labor here. So when such queries come to us, we refer them to the DOLE office in Manila to sort of see whether they are qualified, no, whether they can get the financial assistance under the DOLE ACA program. So hopefully, you know, I have personally seen some OFWs in Bangkok who are now in the Philippines, those repatriated, who are applying directly with DOLE for this financial assistance. So hopefully, those who avail of our repatriation program are accommodated by our Department of Labor and Employment on their repatriation financial assistance program called ACAP.
Right now po, they're in Thailand. What significant measures are in place right now?
Yeah. So the significant measures, Ms. Alma, is similar to ours. So there are travel restrictions, of course. First and foremost, there's a ban on inbound flights, no? So meaning until the order is until 31 May, no flights, international flights are allowed, no, into Thailand. So that's one. They are really limiting imported COVID-19 cases. They are protecting the gains so far that they've made as far as battling this virus, no? Kasi nagde-decline na po rin yung cases dito. They have around 2,900 confirmed cases, and in the past few days, the number of cases has declined. And so they're actually protecting these gains by, you know, precluding the possibility of imported cases. So that's why meron sort of restriction on international arrivals. So that's one. Number two, the malls, of course, are closed except for the supermarket sections. No? Basically, the essential services like food and banking, yan available. But majority of all businesses are closed here in Thailand. And of course, related to that, the public parks are also closed. And even the tourist sites, no, that Bangkok, for example, is famous for, the Wats here in Bangkok are closed. So there is a curfew, Miss Alma. The curfew runs from 10 in the evening to 4 a.m. in the morning. So, you know, in the evening when I go home from the embassy, it's really deserted. The streets are really deserted because of the curfew. Of course, there are exemptions for diplomatic personnel who are expected to be, you know, continuing their duties as consular officials, not attending to their nationals.
You mentioned the embassy, sir. How is the embassy working right now?
So many of us are working from home. I, as head of the consular section, I report for work every day because we still continue our consular services through appointment. Because before we process everything on a walk-in basis. Now, because we also need to ensure that there's social distancing and that we as frontliners can sustainably carry on the services that our Filipinos need. We need to remain healthy also, and so that's why we have these measures in place. So consular services are available on an appointment basis to all our Filipinos in Thailand. Now, of course, it's understandable that because of the travel restrictions between provinces, no, mahirap po yung bumisita po sa embassy. So we also have now passport released by mail. We've introduced that. And also passport extensions po that we process. Kasi right now there's a challenge also in bringing over the new passports from the Philippines to Thailand because of the lockdown measures. As you probably know, Ms. Alma, our passports are produced in the Philippines. All are produced in the Philippines. So we have a challenge now of releasing the new passports to our kababayans. But that is being addressed by our passport by mail service.
Kanjan, I'd like to ask, in Thailand, like most ASEAN nations, is bracing itself for the twin effects of a financial and then health crisis as well. According to the World Bank, COVID-19 will worsen an already challenging situation for households facing droughts, stagnant wage growth, and rising poverty as we're seeing now. What do you think will be the scenario in a post-COVID Thailand, and how will the Philippines be affected?
Well, I think my personal view is that there'll be a gradual, uptick in economic activity over the next couple of months. If the rate of confirmed cases continue to go down, actually, Ms. Alma, starting Sunday, Thailand is lifting some of the measures that is in place. For example, starting Sunday, there'll be additional shops in the malls that will be allowed to open. For example, in telecom services, yung those who are selling SIM cards and credits, call credits, and so on. And then so the post-COVID-19 scenario is really something that I am also uncertain about. I guess it's too early to call it, no? But if the cases continue to go down, then my sense is that there'll be more confidence in lifting the remaining lockdown measures, and therefore there's going to be an uptick in economic activity, and therefore the issue of hunger and lack of loss of jobs will somehow be sort of gradually be addressed. So that's my sense. But again, we really don't know what the future holds at the moment. I'm not a fortune teller, but I'm hoping for the best. And with the help of our Lord, I think prayers are really very important at this time. We have to pray for good health, and also the livelihood of our kababayans.
True. You mentioned about tourism in Thailand. Tourism makes up an estimated 17% of Thailand's GDP. According to the Tourism Authority of Thailand, visitor numbers are set to tumble this year by 60% and could go even lower if a second wave of infection occurs, or second wave of infections occur. But also, Thailand is, as we all know, is one of the top destinations of the Chinese market. What are your thoughts on the future of Thai tourism, and what can our country learn from this?
Well, as mentioned, if the cases continue to decline, then that there will be more confidence. My sense is that there will be more confidence in lifting the measures, and then activities such as tourism can return. But right now, it's really too hard to call Ms. Alma because the experts say that there may be a second wave if we're too quick to lift lockdown measures or measures against the COVID-19 disease. No, to me. It's really about hoping for the best, but still, being prudent about what may surprise us down the road, or what may recur. But I'm hoping for the best, and I said earlier that prayers are important at this time.
It's said that Filipinos have very resilient qualities. What qualities of the Thai people do you think are helping them through this pandemic?
Well, another nice thing, maybe I should share this also. So some of our, many of our Filipinos actually reside in Phuket. Phuket, as you know, is a province that is known for tourism.
Yes.
And many, of course, sadly have lost their jobs. And like many Thais, of course, because the backbone of course, the Thailand's tourism industry are the Thais in the tourism sector. What's good is that the Thais are also helping foreigners cope with the crisis, particularly in Phuket. We've seen Thais giving food to foreigners, including Filipinos, and that is something. Well, we also do that. We have this concept of bayanihan, and I think we have to just I guess be inspired also by that this phenomenon is also present here in Thailand. No? This really some Thais even give money. Privately as private initiative, they go hand out some cash assistance to needy Thais, so I guess that's something we have in common with the Thais, that bayanihan spirit, and it's just great to be to see this phenomenon here, because we, during our difficulties back home, during Haiyan and other natural calamities, we always pull together as a people. And it's nice that that is also the case here in Thailand, Ms. Alma.
All right. Thank you very much, Conjen, for your time. Any last message for our kababayans here and everybody watching you right now?
Well, as I said earlier, prayer is really important at this time. I am no expert in economics and even in health, but I see from my observation, my direct experience with our kababayans who have been trooping to the embassy, our repatriates, I can really see that it's a dire situation, it's a difficult situation. Of course, this is not just unique. This is not unique to Filipinos. Everyone around the world are, affected by this pandemic, and I just hope that we'll find strength to carry on to surmount this challenge with the help of our Lord. No, and that's why I always revert to the importance of prayer at this time.
Yes, that's the most important thing. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Conjen, for your time and for taking care of our kababayans there in Thailand. Maraming salamat po. Mabuhay po kayo.
Walang anuman po, Ms. Alma. And good afternoon to all our kababayans.
All right. Ready-made garment workers began returning work amid the high risk of COVID-19. Joining us live from Bangladesh is our EBC correspondent, Arabel Pascua. Hello, Arabel.
Hi, Alma. Good day to you.
Good day. How are you? How are you doing over there in Bangladesh?
Fine. Yes, Alma, I'm fine, and we are fine here with my family. Here are the latest updates now in Bangladesh, Alma. According to Dhaka Tribune, thousands of ready-made garment workers entered Dhaka through the Shimulya-Katalbari River route. Thousands of RMG workers who had left capital Dhaka and its suburbs earlier have started returning to their respective workplaces through the Shimulya-Katalbari River route on Thursday morning amid high risk of COVID-19 as their factories reopen. With all communication systems shut, the workers are boarding goods-laden trucks, vans, and light vehicles and are even walking in large numbers and gathering at the ferry ghat to return to the capital city. They are moving in large numbers, posing a serious threat to the spread of COVID-19 and defying the rule of social distancing, said the Bangladesh Inland Water Transport Corporation sources. BIWTA Assistant General Manager said more than 5,000 workers reached in Shimulya early in the morning. He also said that there are 7 ferries at the ghat to carry them. Meanwhile, Rajbari's river route is beaming with Dhaka-bound passengers, while 5 employees who works at the river port of Bangladesh Inland Water Transport Corporation were found positive for the virus, confirmed by a civil surgeon on Thursday afternoon. While the other employees are panicked in fear of contracting the virus from the infected people, thousands of RNG workers are crowding the river port area to join their respective posts in Gazipur, Narayanganj, and Dhaka because if they don't, they might get suspended by the governments, they alleged. Seeking anonymity, a garment worker said that they received orders through their mobile phones that says if they do not join their workplaces as soon as possible, they will lose their jobs. On a field visit, despite coronavirus may take a hazardous effect on the crowding people, the law enforcers were not seen to be interested in maintaining social distance among the rushing people. Manager of Rajbari's River Port said that they are ordered by the authority to run 5 ferry a day for emergency purposes, and the local administration is helping them to manage this huge amount of crowd. In addition to that, Alma, according to BD News 24, Bangladesh extends ban on passenger flights to May 7 as virus cases surge. The Bangladesh Civil Aviation Authority has extended a ban on passenger flights to May 7 as the government grapples with the spread of the coronavirus. The ban will remain effective on flights to and from 16 countries, which are Bahrain, Bhutan, Hong Kong, India, Kuwait, Malaysia, Maldives, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Sri Lanka, Singapore, Thailand, Turkey, UAE, and the UK. The ban will remain effective on domestic passenger flights as well. As previously announced, Chinese passenger flights, cargo planes, air ambulances, aid aircraft, and the flight for emergency landing are out of the ban's purview. Meanwhile, different countries including USA, UK, Canada, Turkey, Australia, Japan, Singapore, Malaysia, Bhutan, and several European countries so far operated special chartered flights to take back their citizens amid the flight suspension. Bangladesh government also facilitated chartered flights to bring back its nationals from a number of countries including India, Singapore, and Thailand. And lastly, Alma, according to IEDCR, the total number of confirmed COVID-19 cases here in Bangladesh rises up to 7,667 with 168 deaths and 160 recoveries. Alma?
All right. Thank you very much for those updates in Bangladesh, Arabelle. Keep safe, stay healthy, stay home. Thank you for your time.
Likewise, Alma. Thank you very much. And from all of us here in Bangladesh, we would like to greet a happy birthday to Brother Angelo Iranio Manalo. And reporting live from Bangladesh, I am Arabelle Pasqua. We live in interesting times.
Thank you, Arabelle. Let's go now to Sri Lanka. Let's get the latest coronavirus situation there. Joining us live from Sri Lanka is Vanessa Silva. Hello, Vanessa.
Hi, good afternoon, Alma.
Good afternoon. So what are your updates for us, Vanessa? So good to see you.
Thank you. So the Health Ministry's Epidemiology Unit says Sri Lanka's coronavirus positive cases raised to 666 on Thursday, April 30, with 14 more positive cases being reported. The health authorities said that 4 of those persons who were detected earlier in the day were under observation at the Oloville Quarantine Center, and they were from Jaela, Suduela. On the positive side, 18 patients who were fully recovered were discharged from the hospitals today. With that, the total number of recoveries increased to 154. At present, 502 corona positive patients are being treated at hospitals, and another 187 persons are under observation, suspected of having contracted the virus. On the other side, head of NOC, PCO receives PPE and gloves from Australian Department of Defence, showing a strong gesture of solidarity towards the role of National Operations Center for Prevention of COVID-19 outbreak, NOC PCO in Sri Lanka, as well as the members of Sri Lankan's armed force in their fights against the control of COVID-19 pandemic. The Australian Department of Defence, through the High Commission of Australia yesterday morning, extended its support by the way of handing over a large consignment of personal protective equipment, PPE overalls, and gloves to Lieutenant General Shanvedra Silva, head of the NOC PCO, Chief of Defence Staff, and Commander of the Army at the Army Headquarters. The PPEs were formally delivered by High Commissioner of Australia, His Excellency David Howley, to the head of NOC PCO Lieutenant Silva during yesterday's brief meeting. The Australian High Commissioner, expressing support of the Australian Department of Defence to minimize further transmission of COVID-19 in Sri Lanka, told the head of NOC PCO that his government is committed to continue its support to Sri Lanka's preparedness and response for COVID-19 through a variety of Australian symbols of solidarity and goodwill. Lieutenant General Silva acknowledged the generosity and extended his best wishes to the Australian Department of Defence for their brotherly understanding and solidarity. Back to you, Alma.
All right, thank you very much for that update. And we'll be waiting and expecting more updates from Sri Lanka, Vanessa.
Thank you so much, Alma. Reporting live from Sri Lanka, this is Vanessa Viloria Silva, and we live in interesting times.
And that is the latest news in and around the Southeast Asian nations. Stay updated about the ASEAN region and other regions in the world. And before we go, we would like to greet Brother Angelo Manalo. A very happy birthday from me and my kids. Happy birthday po. I'm Alma Angeles, and we live in interesting times.